Oh, we're live. Cool.
We're here.
All right, we're here. All right. Welcome, gentlemen. We got Mike Kilgore and Lonny Shook with Trident Innovative Products, and you guys are doing the paver sealing and concrete sealing, correct?
That's it. We're excited about coming the next Wednesday. So we'll be putting on a class. We're going to be doing some different techniques out in the field. Mike Kilgore is going to come, so he's going to help facilitate that out. And he likes putting his boots on and getting out there and really showing the guys how to do it. And so we're excited to have Mike. So both and I will be there next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, that's the 21st.
Correct.
I was told I have to bring both pair of boots. I have to bring my work boots and my cowboy boots. So I was told, don't get off that plane in just some sneakers in Texas. You better show up representing some real boots.
Right.
I'm originally from Southeast Missouri, so I got a pair I'm gonna have to dig out instead of my flip flops from Florida. So
it's a little different in Missouri, yeah.
yeah.
You okay? So Mike, where are you at right now? I mean, I see Lonny's in a car. He's in a fancy office, and Mike, look like you're living the good life.
Well, I am just a little bit. This is a little bit of vacation, as I like to, in Florida, we're dodging hurricanes, even though we like to sell a lot of hurricane, Cat 5, and 3 and EZ. But we came up for a little family vacation. So I told my wife, I said, look, I've got a little appointment this evening. So I'm in Northeast Georgia at one of my favorite places in the world, which is Lake Chattooga up here. So we've got some family and some friends that have all come together. So we're right up here on the lake. So looking forward to spending a little bit of time with some family and friends before coming out to visit with you guys.
Awesome. Well, I don't the getting to come out here and do the class and stuff is a bonus for anybody who wants to do that. But I want to share with those who are watching right now how concrete sealing and paver sealing can be an add-on to their ticket sales when they go out to bid jobs, or if they're doing a house wash or a roof wash, or if they're doing commercial flat work. I mean, it's not just on the residential side; it's on the commercial side too. So either one of you guys, can you kind of share a little bit about how that works out and what that can do to average ticket prices if you've got those kind of numbers, or on the residential side and the commercial side?
Yeah, we run through a little bit of cost analysis at these events, where an average ticket price would go. Clean would be anywhere from, say, 15 cents to 20 cents a square foot. By adding a concrete sealer or a paver sealer, will boost that up to, $1.50 and higher. And so by adding those packages, you get it already clean. That's the hardest part. And so around pools, patios, anywhere there's pavers, we can harden up that sand in between. So we're going to give a little bit of an overview of what in details come with concrete sealing, what to look for with paver sealing. So you can add, your ticket sales can increase by 50, 60, 70%, but just by adding concrete sealer or paver sealing to it, depending on the product.
Right. And what are the things like someone would need to know if they were looking to get into paver sealing or concrete sealing? What things? I guess let me rephrase that, because you're going to teach that. But what would someone really want to be concerned about and know before they actually start trying to perform the service?
You know what? I'm going to let Mike answer that, because that was something that he did day to day with cleaning and sealing. So I think you'd be a better appropriate, Mike. Why don't you answer that?
Well, I think one of the things is there's a huge fear factor that, we get comfortable with doing pressure washing and realizing that there is a process and there is a steps to create the optimal outcome. And those optimal outcomes come with just taking your time. And, we see people all the time talking about, I want to rush, see how much money I can make in this hour. we're not looking for that splash and dash kind of person. What we're looking for is that person that's willing to take the time and provide that optimal service for their customer. So the things that they need to look out for is number one, just slowing down, taking their time, setting great customer expectations, making sure that you're finding out what the customer is looking for, and then also making sure that when you ask those specific questions, like in the class, we have what we call the sealer triangle, and going through that sealer triangle with that customer so that you can meet their expectations. And then also partnering together with a good company that's going to support you with education and training all the way from the beginning to the end. So I think it's important to get to these trainings, learn a little bit more, and get comfortable with it, but realize that it's always a learning process. I mean, I sealed for 4 or 5 years before we started getting into this, and I'm still learning things. I'm still picking up little nuggets of information. So it's a learning process, but it is great, something that you can add that can really boost up that ticket price for you there.
Yeah, no, that helps a lot. So you talked about people having a fear or trying to, a little bit about splash and dash and that kind of stuff. And that's really not who you want using your product and putting it out there, which I completely concur with. I totally get that. You're looking for contractors who want to do quality and want to perform a good service. And in hand, that usually means they're able to charge better rates and look for customers that want to pay for that quality service. I'm going to go a little further now. I'm going to ask you to tell me what makes Trident products better than the other guys that are out there. Like if you could go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get those kind of products, how are these products better?
Well, I think both of us can have different, don't have different opinions. We're all on the same concept here, but I'm going to give my opinion, and I think Lonny can throw in too there. Okay. I think what you're going to see is there's a couple of guys that have chimed in here, and one of the things that is going to set us apart from anyone else is, oh my. That's what I'm talking about. That right there is how you set the stage, right? Fireworks just went off. That was there. So
I think that's your wife looking for you.
That's either a gun or fireworks. I'm not
either
there.
That or dinner's ready. One of the two. It's going to be something interesting. Well, here we are in northern Georgia, right? You're going to see that there are some guys in here making some comments, and I think you're going to find that a majority of them are saying that our support, the education, the training is what really sets us apart. When Lonny and I were commissioned to be able to put together this Trident brand, the one thing is to say, we can sell sealer. Not all sealers are the same. The products, the way in which we put these things together, the solids that we use, we're going to talk about the differences in solids because not all solids are the same. But what I'm trying to tell people is that we are providing something that the industry needed to raise the bar. It appeared as if there was a lot of racing to the bottom, get as many contractors as possible doing this. And what we want to do is allow people to learn, to educate, and also have the tools to be able to get that higher dollar. Now, we knew that the sealer was going to be phenomenal. The sealer is amazing. And what I talk about in the groups is that there's two ways of going about this. Is either you're the first guy on the market and you're the one out there shooting fireworks, evidently, or you're the ones out there making all these claims, or you're the ones that sit back and wait to see what does the industry really need? What is it that we can provide because it's missing? And what was missing was people that could reach out to those contractors, help them in their time of need, and allow them to be successful because they're comfortable with the information that they got to become successful. So it's a full package. You don't go to a dinner to a steakhouse and just get a steak with no napkin. You don't go and get a steak without a steak knife. And what we're saying is we're going to give you all those pieces together. What separates us is not only our quality products, they work well, but the education, the training, and the team, like Lonny, myself, we have multiple people on our team that are there to help support them.
I would add on to that. I think the variety of products that we offer, there's not one sealer that will do it all. And so you'll find companies that'll be um, specialized in 2 or 3 product line. That's all they carry. These are the 2 or 3 choices. And so whether you're trying to prevent salts or water from being introduced into that substrate, or you want to give it a wet look, we've got product specific. So as Mike alluded to earlier, we want to educate the contractor so he has the tools to be able to go out and make sure that he matches up the sealer to the customer's expectations. Because sometimes the customers have it in their head of how they want it, the way things need to be done. And we want to teach that contractor to be the trusted advisor. We want him to sit down. We're going to talk about the bag. Sometimes guys will call it as the magic bag. But teaching these tools that when you show up to a job site, that you've got sand color, you've got sample bottles, like you see here. We give these away free. We want you to be able to show the customer the end result, get check off and approval before moving forward. So in the class, we'll talk about wet look and what does wet look mean to you and myself or Mike, and we're probably going to get 3 different answers. So being able to match up that product to the customer's expectations, those are the tools that we want to teach outside of just, great product support, but it's the little things that, sort of help that contractor elevate his game and look like the trusted advisor sitting down talking to these, people at the kitchen table. And I think the hardest part is getting it clean and making sure it's presentable. You folks have all of that done. You guys know how to do that and might as well, seal it, preserve it. People have this theory that, well, if I seal it, I'm going to take away money because I'm on a maintenance route. That in reality is going to help you because you're going to cut your production down. You're going to cut your chemical down. So by doing an oil block around a dumpster pad or a back of a restaurant door, that's going to help somebody, on that route later on. And so we want to give everybody the tools. We'll talk about some hands-on stuff at the beginning of the class. We're actually going to go out to a job site, I think, and do some hands-on sweeping, some sealing from natural stone. I think there's some pavers on the project. So, you're going to get a couple different perspectives. My perspective, Mike's perspective, Martin. We've got a couple other guys on the team that you can lean on a little bit to get into a quote. Call us. We'll help you, walk through it and get your cost, and so you know what kind of margins to make.
Excellent. I like hearing that. And then just for those that are watching, I'm going to put up the banner here, and hopefully this works. It's the first time I've done this. Let's see. I don't know if it's going across or not because I can't. I don't have it on my screen. I should, but it doesn't always work. So if someone could comment and let me know if that banner's showing. But if it doesn't, then I'll put it in the comments. Actually, I'll put it in the comments too. Make sure that works in the chat. So everyone will see that. And then here, I'll do this. There we go. Now it shows for good. And now that's working, I can see that. So we're good there. So one of the things we're doing with the class is it's going to be classroom and hands-on, right? So We're going to do a little thing in the morning, kind of prepare guys and take them out in the field. And why don't you, and I'm going to post up some pictures and try to do a little video here. But while I'm doing that, would one of you talk about the hidden revenue that you're going to, and I'm saying hidden, you guys you probably can see everything. If you're walking a property, what things would you want to look for that would bring extra dollars to the ticket when they're doing a house wash, roof wash, or flat work, or all that other kind of stuff? We kind of talked about it, but the things that you probably wouldn't commonly, or I say commonly think about, just go through a list. Let's just kind of throw it out there for people to wrap their heads around it.
Well,
Go ahead, Mike.
I'll hit on that. So, walking around a property, it's important to see all the aspects and all the opportunities that are available. So when you're looking at pavers, obviously restoring those pavers, resanding, sealing in those pavers, you've got concrete to be able to protect against any type of freeze thaw cycles, also help protect against mold and mildew, against the salts. there's a lot of opportunities that are there, and I think it's more important to find out what is it that your customers are looking for to protect. What are their pain points? You see people hiding. See them? See the kids? Hey, kid in the back here. There's what are their pain points? Why is it that they want to seal those pavers? Is it because they're trying to protect because they got the weeds that are coming through, and we want to try to slow down that weed growth? Are they tired of looking at the mold and the mildew that's coming back so quickly? And do they need to have some type of sealer that's got an active mold inhibitor inside of it? I think it's important to find out those pain points, and we can seal anywhere from stone to concrete to pavers to really almost any type of hardscape out there, whether it be a film forming sealer or a penetrating sealer. Whether they want a wet look to it, a sheen, a shine, or if they're just looking to have something invisible that protects it when they're outside and they spill a little bit of wine. They want to make sure that they've given themselves some time to be able to just wipe that up and protect that hardscape. So there's a lot of hidden opportunities that are there. And a lot of that has to do with making sure that you have the right hardscape. Also, as Rob Harris just posted up in there, there's also efflorescence that you can clean against, failed sealer, oil extraction. So if you have oil from Papaw's truck's been dripping on the driveway out there, and we want to get some of that oil up in there. So there's a lot of opportunity to not only increase the aesthetics, but also increase the functionality of those hardscapes.
Nice.
Just a backboard off of that, I think rust, downspouts that have washed some of that sand away. Mike made reference to the weeds. So when someone goes to a job site, when we walk up on the job site next Wednesday, we're going to talk about some of those things. Whether it's a concrete driveway, maybe it's pavers around the back, maybe the pavers have been down for a while and they look beautiful when they're wet. That's an opportunity for you to talk to the customer that maybe they, been down for a while and they want to give it a little bit of life back. So there's all kinds of ways to roof tile, calcium deposits, efflorescence. I mean, there is a lot to go over. Thanks for putting Mike and I on the spot, Mike, for asking those tough questions. But there's a lot. I mean, when you walk up onto a job, there's a lot that's going through your head, from plant protection to cleaning it, and any areas that have outdoor grills or kitchen areas. There are people that are going to be wanting to protect that investment. Nowadays, you see exterior patios that are $30, $40, $50, $70, $80,000 for an outdoor room or a kitchenette. And so people now are taking their outside entertainment bigger. And so when you walk up to a job, you can tell that those folks that want to protect their investment and those that, this really doesn't fit their lifestyle or, maintenance and whatnot. So we're going to cover a couple different ways, whether that's commercial. We'll talk about the maintenance route and how we can save money on doing those maintenance schedules. And then when we actually walk up on that job next Wednesday, being a live scenario, maybe there's roof tile, maybe there's rust coming down. You're going to treat that rust. Maybe it's sprinklers, right? Wherever the sprinklers may be hitting that driveway, where you can clean it and now put a hydrophobic sealer that's going to repel any moisture, any rust, or anything to prevent it from really, causing a bigger stain.
And Rust Remover Plus is the way to go, I think.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
All right. So that segues right into, I'm going to share the screen and let's talk about this. So this is the job that for the hands-on. Got a little video up here so you can see the paver sealers. Let me see if I can remove this real quick. There we go. So I'm going to scroll back and forth on this little video I just shot like 15, 20 minutes ago. So there's the paver sealers that go. And by the way, this is my backyard. This is what we're going to do. So we're going to share this here.
I I'm going to be sitting on the dock back in the back there. Lonny going to be out here doing this. Yeah.
Do a little fishing while you're here, right?
I might be in the hot tub at some point. Who knows? You don't want to see that. Trust me.
So is that a good enough picture right there, Lonny, and you guys to kind of talk about what we're going to do there on those and how you think the sealers how they're going to look afterwards, what we can do and the options there.
So go ahead, Mike.
Oh yeah, sorry. No, this is exciting. So what we're seeing here is we've got some great pavers here, and you can see that inside though, there's a lot of great color that's going to be able to pop out with this. And with a good enhancing sealer, with a good mid sheen that's there, we're going to be able to come in. Our first object is to dig out those joints to get some of that gunk that's out inside of it and replace the sand inside there with some good ASTM C144 grade sand. And we're going to talk more about that inside the actual training itself.
Sweet.
And then, go ahead.
I was just saying, sweet. I'm glad to hear that.
Oh, good. So we're going to replace some of the sand, and the sand is not just about aesthetics. That sand is actually graded in a way so that when we put it down into that joint, it's going to create the hardest joint so that the functionality of it is so that it's going to keep those pavers from shifting back and forth. After we get done with that, then we're going to come in and put down and we're going to show how to mix the sealer, how to spray the sealer, how to put down a flood coat, how to move that excess sealer into it, the things to look for, the key elements that are going to separate you from just a splash and dash. There's little small things that you're going to need to do and want to look for. And of course, by coming to this class, we're going to teach you those things, as well as how to spray down a sealer, timing, what to look for, what are the indicators. And I know I'm leaning into this because I'm really looking at this picture, but what are the key indicators that you need to be looking for to make sure that you have the success that you're looking for? So I'm excited about this. I know we're going to see such a dramatic difference. It's going to be great once we put that sealer down to be able to see the difference. One of the things, as you asked about earlier, what is the difference that separates us from other competition? Not only the education, the training, and all that stuff, but the leveling agents. We had a customer of ours that was using another competitor's product, and I'm not going into all that. But one of the things that he was concerned about was leaving wet edges and being able to see the difference between what he had sealed and what he hasn't sealed, and coming back later and sealing what was left over. And when it was all done with, those edges all blended together. And that all comes down to chemistry and science. And I'll tell you, the people that don't know, with SEK Surebond and Trident, where Trident was born from was an SEK, is 30 years of history of making sealers. So this is not just something that just randomly popped up. This is 30 years of education and training and understanding how to make sealers so that it has the flexibility to be able to provide a high sheen, a mid sheen, or no sheen, depending on your process. So I'm excited about doing this. This is going to look really good.
Yeah.
And, it's going to allow contractors that are at that event to get up close and personal. And that's what we're looking for.
Cool. And obviously these are Trident sealers, Trident products we're talking about, yes, which is the same. It's a sister company of SEK.
Yes.
Correct.
Right.
So
and just a little history on this paver, these pavers here, they've been in the ground about 2 months, and they just use some typical sand that they put on it. And now we're going to get it done professionally and correctly and make them look great. And my wife will be ecstatic when it's done.
Happy wife, happy life.
That's right. Okay, so let me switch the picture around. So I'm going to pan across the backyard here, because not only do we have that fire pit area right there with the flagstone that's around it and the rock there. And I think Lonny was talking about, we could seal that as well. And just so everyone knows, before the class starts, I'm going to clean this prior so that we don't have to spend time cleaning and it's dry before the sealers are applied. Correct? That's what you want me to do, Lonnie?
Yeah, you folks know the cleaning side. We just want to teach you the techniques and what to look for when it comes to the sealing.
Certainly.
If there's guys that need help, obviously we can step off to the side and help them. I know your team there will be available if they need help with cleaning. But for the most part, it's going to be the concrete sealing and the pavers, and glad to have some natural stone on that job so we can give you a couple different substrates on one particular job.
Yep. So we got that. And then there's a sidewalk there. I don't know if that's a pretty big sidewalk, so I don't know if you got time to do anything with that. But there's a patio and there's another concrete area past here. So if we want to do anything with with that area, we can. I think all of it just kind of depends on time constraints. Now there's a pretty good close up of that.
It's going to look incredible. I'm excited about that. Because I know how those pavers react with a good, solid, quality enhancing sealer that's there. So really excited for that, as well as being able to show the penetrating sealers too.
Mm-hmm. So you tell your wife, wet it with a hose, and if she likes that look, we've got the right product. So that goes back to meeting that customer's expectations. So we know we're using this for training purposes, but if we were a contractor going to your job, we would talk to you and ask you, do you like it when it's dry? Are you happy with those colors? Do you like a gloss look, or do you like a wet look? So giving that customer the choices brings them into the mix and helping, decide versus, saying we're going to put down a wet look and that's it. Some folks may be very happy with the color that they picked out to match their house or stone around their fireplace. And so we've got product that won't change the color if they're absolutely sold on keeping the substrate the same color.
Yeah. Excellent. So Brandon Sheffield's asking if it's good for driveways too.
Mm-hmm.
There's different products, right? You have a line of products, different things to offer. This is a really good question, because I know you have different looks. So that, by the way, the training's in Fort Worth, Texas. That's where we're doing it, Brandon. And there's also going to be a giveaway at the course, the $300 gift card for those that want to get product and stuff applied toward that. And then, but Lonnie, talk real quick, because not everybody wants a wet look.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm going to let you say it, because I know your answers.
Yeah. So that goes back to these sample bottles, right? We'll arm you with the contractor can have these bottles. So when you're talking to Mrs. Smith or Mrs. Hindeleiter and saying, what do you like? Do you like that color? So by giving that customer the choices of a matte finish, a gloss, or a wet, or even a high sheen, being able to give that customer, those options are really what's going to sell the job. So we'll dive into that a little bit at the front side of the class to break it down. There's really 3 reasons why somebody's going to seal. It's very basic. They want to stabilize the joints between the pavers. They want a stain protection of some sort, or they want to make a paver new again, make it look bright and full of life. So those are the 3 reasons. In those categories, we can alter a little bit. So in a joint stabilizing sealer, we can go from a gloss, matte, or wet to a high sheen. In a penetrating sealer, we can go from an invisible to basically a wet look. So we've got a couple different products that will help, but those are the 3 reasons why somebody's going to seal.
Excellent. So I want to keep this to 30 minutes. We're down to 2 minutes. Anything you guys want to say in close?
We'll eat good. We're going to be fishing. Mike's going to be on the dock. Me and Mike are going to be in the boat. So we'll let you know how that goes. We just really come out. If you guys are interested in this, it's going to be a lot of information. And what we want is we'd like to have everybody bring a couple questions, because I'm sure there's some, horror stories or some what if scenarios. We want to get those out and let's talk about them, because really, when it comes to sealing, don't over apply it. Watch the weather and pick the right product. It's pretty simple. And I know that's putting it very basic, but don't overthink it. So if we can do it, I'm sure that you guys can pick it up and, make this, don't jump into it feet first. You don't have to go out and seal a 50,000 square foot job, but maybe it's a 10 by 10 patio in the back and you want to throw it into the homeowner that's been doing business with you for 5 years and a first little, starter job. So, but we're excited. So next Wednesday, we're going to get started about 8:30. You'll get fed all the good stuff we like to eat. Get some hydration out there on the job site. Stay out of the heat. We'll probably come back to the Powerwash.com facility and wrap up there and go over anything that maybe somebody wanted to dive into deeper with. So
Yeah.
appreciate you guys, and look forward to seeing everybody out there next week. And you've got the link on there to register, right?
Yeah, we sure do. It's posted in the comments a couple of times, and I keep posting it. So it's easiest to just click the link inside the comments, but it's also on the screen. I'll show it there. Wade Padgett, and there's a couple of questions I want to hit real quick, but Wade asked if you missed this, is it going to be available to watch? Do you mean if you missed the event, Wade, or do you mean this particular video? So obviously the video's online. You can go back and watch it. It's going to be there. But as far as the event goes, I'm just going to throw it out there. Me and Lonny are kind of discussing whether or not we'll have this as part of our online training. We haven't worked out the particulars if that'll happen, but I would certainly like to do that. I think Lonny would too. We're just having some discussions there to make sure everybody's happy.
Yep. And
okay, Wade says know this video. Yeah, absolutely, Wade. You can watch this video. It'll be online. Once it's completed, you can go back to the very beginning and watch it again. If you don't see that, you're on YouTube. Absolutely, it'll be on YouTube. It'll be under the lives on our YouTube page. And there was one other question. Oh, this is a good question here. I think this has a lot to do with prep, but I could be wrong. You guys tell me. It is. I've seen some guys apply sealer and then it turns cloudy or milky looking later.
Well, a lot of that has to do with application, choosing the right product for the right surface, and also a quality product. So I know that that's a very, very blanket statement, but as you said, Mike, prep is 90% of it, as we all know in this. It's prep is a major part to it. But the other missing element is making sure that you have the right product for the right. I not to go too deep into it, but a film forming sealer on top in the wrong place can do a lot of damage, as well as a penetrating sealer in different areas cannot do the job. So that's what we're here to do, is to help educate you on what is the right product for the right job to meet the customer's expectations. So that's a very good question, and we hope that you show up to this event so that we can answer to it with as much information as you need.
Absolutely, because it takes a lot to dive into some of this stuff. It's not just a yes or no, or this is the one solution that's going to fix it.
Yeah, because we have to dissect and find out what was happening beforehand. We have to find out a lot of information before we can diagnose why we think that happens.
Yeah, and I'm going over which I don't have a problem with, but I think that a lot of things happen in the cleaning industry and power washing and all that, and everybody just wants a one solution answer, but there's not one solution answers, because there's so many variables that take place, and each job site is different. So you need an arsenal of knowledge and products to be able to solve those problems you run into.
And I was saying earlier is well, I didn't say it earlier here, but are you a patient or are you a doctor? You don't go to the doctor and they say, hey, my finger's hurting. Well, here's some penicillin. My leg is hurting. Here's some penicillin. I've got a cough. Here's some penicillin. They ask you, all these pertinent questions. And so when you contact us, Lonny, myself, anyone on the Trident team, you ask them, we're going to ask a lot of questions, because we want to give you the best answer that we possibly can.
Yep. I love it. I appreciate it, guys. So
thanks for having us
one last time.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I hope we have. I'm expecting a great turnout. We've got several people signed up now, and I know you guys are too.
What we got, like 40 seats available, something like that. So very limited.
Yeah.
It's going to be a small class. So if you're planning on coming, register right away, because once it fills up, we're going to have to cut it off. So sign up right away, and we look forward to seeing everybody next Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you guys.
All right,
everyone.
guys, have a good night.
I'll post the link one more time, and it'll be there. So hope to see you soon. Take care.
Thank you.
Taking the time to talk with everybody tonight.